Hey guys, that Horror Critic here, and today we're going to be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise a little bit, and what I thought of Texas Chainsaw 3D. I was recently watching one of my older videos, and I noticed that I gave Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation a 3.5 out of 5. Looking back, I find that rather ridiculous. I stopped rating movies in my reviews because I think they're pretty inconsistent, especially with a series like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My opinion on these movies are always ever changing, and I can never quite pinpoint my favorite sequel, nor can I put them in a specific order like I can with the Halloween franchise. But I'll try to put them in order from my favorite to my least favorite. So, alright, my favorite is obviously the original, and I think it's one of the best horror movies ever made. So, my number 2 is really hard to choose, but I think it's number 2 because of Jim Sydal and Bill Moseley. My number 3 favorite is Leatherface: The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I think it's a more polished version of the original, and essentially a more new age slasher version of the original. Then my number 4 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. The number 5 is the remake. The number 6 is the prequel to the remake. And my least favorite of the whole bunch is the new Texas Chainsaw 3D. Ironically, my list goes in order through the movies. I believe the newer these movies get, the worse they get. When will they get a director who will actually try to recapture the feel of the first movie again, rather than create this polished Hollywood movie for money? I promised you guys, I promised that I would review this Texas Chainsaw 3D when it came out. So here you go. I watched it the day after it came out, but I've been at a loss for words until now. Texas Chainsaw 3D had very mixed reviews by most moviegoers, but for critics, the consensus was very mutual, that this movie sucked. Spoilers: this movie attempts to bring sympathy from the audience to Leatherface. Now, I don't agree with this at all, because he was anything but relatable in the original. Now, sometimes while I'm watching a horror movie, for example, a Friday the 13th movie, I might root for Jason. But with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I did anything but cheer for Leatherface. I was genuinely scared for Sally, and I think it's ridiculous that we're just now supposed to pretend like his incredibly terrible crimes just didn't happen. In fact, the main character, all her friends are murdered, and later she just seems completely oblivious to this fact. I mean, seriously, yeah, they're family, but still, if one of my family members killed every one of my friends, I wouldn't just pretend like it didn't happen because, oh, we're family. Those angry townsfolk had all the reason in the world to want to kill Leatherface. There's no tension in this movie, because the second he started killing people, I mean, okay, the first kill, and then right after that, it just keeps going. He doesn't stop. And then you see Leatherface so much, there's no build-up whatsoever. You see him so much, you get comfortable with him. And then, I get that some horror movies just don't do suspense, and they make up for it with a lot of gore, but this doesn't have either of them. I mean, it's got a little gore, but it's not satisfying whatsoever, and without suspense and without gore, this movie seems a little bland and forgettable, which is exactly what it is. All in all, I hated this movie, and I just don't see how certain people really enjoyed it. I suppose if you're unfamiliar with the franchise, I could understand, but I have such a protective nature of the original, I just have to peg down these petty attachments which claim to be canon to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I wouldn't recommend it, but, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be good, so if you're a hardcore fan like I am, you might as well just go see it so you can get it out of your way. I don't think you're going to be disappointed, because if you were like me, you saw the trailer, you already knew it was going to be terrible, so you're in for what you pay for. Thank you guys for watching, and see ya later.